Hello, 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 friends. So excited to be with you all here on this Monday evening. I'm your Quizmaster Sarah. So excited to be back. I feel like it's been a minute. It's been a minute. So excited to have you here. You've come on the week that has the longest day of the year coming at the end of it. So excited that you're spending some of your long summer days here with us here at Geeks Who Drink. We're going to go over just brief instructions for any newbies we might have here. If you're new, we'd love to see you in the chat. I see several of you correctly guessed. It was going to be me this evening. As always, we've got 7 total rounds of questions for you all to play. Most of those rounds have 8 questions with 1 answer worth 1 point. That gets you to 8 points for most of the rounds. But of course, as always, we do have our 16-point rounds worth double. They are the usual ones tonight, round 2, round 6, and round 7 worth those 16 points. So for those of you using those jokers, remember, like a zit or bubble wrap, once you pop it, you can't unpop it. Save that joker to double your score on one of those 16-point rounds, because math, even a perfect score on an 8-point round, usually less you'd get on a 16-point round. So for those of you keeping score, you can double your score on one round, use it on a 16-point round, round 2, 6, and 7. I think we'll get started with a couple of rules, but while I'm going over the rules, feel free to let me know how hot it is where you are right now. I'm in Texas. It's pretty hot, not as hot as it has been in past Junes. We haven't gotten to the hundreds yet. It's coming, I know. But feel free to let me know how hot it is where you are. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and get started with our round number 1 of questions. We'll get started with your round 1, which, as always, is an 8-point round. 8 points for your round number 1, which tonight is called 10,227 days later. Say that 5 times fast. 28 years later hits theaters this weekend. We did some math for that title. Anyway, this is a whole round on stuff that happened in 1997. Yeah, I won't ask you how old you were, and I'm not going to tell you how old I was. But this whole round will be stuff that happened in 1997. Here we go. Question number 1 for your round 1. Here's your question 1. At his second inaugural ball, what president declined an offer to play a saxophone solo for the crowd? Again, that's question number 1 for your round 1. At his second inaugural ball, what president declined an offer to play a saxophone solo for the crowd? We've started with one of the funkiest songs on this playlist to start the evening. All right, moving on to your question number 2. Here's your question 2. Peeved about a $40 late fee from Blockbuster, Reed Hastings founded the DVD by mail company that became what's streaming Colossus. I may have been watching it before starting this quiz. Again, this is question number 2. Peeved about a $40 late fee from Blockbuster, Reed Hastings founded the DVD by mail company that became what's streaming Colossus. All right, question number 3. Here's your question 3. Katie Ledecky was born on March 17th, 1997. Oh my God, numbers, you guys. Okay, let's try that again. Question 3. Katie Ledecky was born on March 17th of 1997, 3 days after what fellow Olympic goat with 11 gymnastics medals? Again, this is question number 3. Katie Ledecky was born on March 17th, 3 days after what fellow Olympic goat with 11 gymnastics medals? All right, question number 4 coming at you. Here's your question 4. Eventually finding multiple new moons within its rings in 1997, the Cassini probe began its mission to study what 6th planet? Again, this is question number 4. Eventually finding multiple new moons within its rings, in 1997, the Cassini probe began its mission to study what sixth planet. Y'all, age is just a number. It's just a number. No one has to feel old unless you want to. Feeling old can be nice. Sometimes I like it. Anyway, we're halfway through this round all about stuff that happened in 1997. Here's your question number 5. Elton John gave the only ever live performance of Candle in the Wind 1997 at the much publicized funeral of what royal? Again, this is question number 5. Elton John gave the only ever live performance of Candle in the Wind 1997 at the much publicized funeral of what royal?
Got a little thing called faith, it'll be okay. Your mama, she said you should go to school, but you knew better and you bunked off anyway. The little I know, the less I see.
Question number 6 is up next. Here's your question 6. With the UK's 99-year lease expired, China regained control of what rhyming city that later got its own Disneyland park? Again, this is question number 6. When the UK's 99-year lease expired, China regained control of what rhyming city that later got its own Disneyland park? All right, question number 7. Here's your question 7. After winning the World Series in just their 5th year of existence, what MLB team had a trolley parade through Miami's Little Havana neighborhood? Again, this is question number 7. After winning the World Series in just their 5th year of existence, what MLB team had a trolley parade through Miami's Little Havana neighborhood? I may have helped paint a sign with this team's mascot around that time.
Like a rabbit in the headlights staring down my face. Got a little thing called faith, it'll be okay. I'm scared of the needle, so I close my eyes. Gotta get a bit of juice before I die. The little I know.
All right, it's time for that last question before your bonus. Here is your question number 8. The Love Boat and That Sinking Feeling were the headlines of 2 not glowing reviews of what Oscar dominating blockbuster from 1997? Again, this is question number 8. The Love Boat and That Sinking Feeling were the headlines of 2 not glowing reviews of what Oscar dominating blockbuster?
The less I see, I'm not real you. The little I know, the less I see. Love in my blind spot.
All right, friends, we are going to move on to our first bonus question of the evening. Recently renewed for a 40th season in 1997, what TV series passed the Flintstones with its 167th episode, The Itchy and Scratchy and Poochie Show? we're going to go back and do your answers for round number 1 as y'all continue to put those bonus answers in the chat. Let's see how y'all did on this first round, all about things that happened in 1997. I might have a story for one of them. We'll see. Anyway, once again, question number 1, the president famous for playing the sax, that's of course Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton for question number 1. Moving on to question number 2, that DVD by mail company. My subscription did indeed start as the DVD by mail part, which doesn't exist anymore. But of course, that is Netflix. That is Netflix for question 2. Question number 3. Katie Ledecky was born just 3 days before a fellow Olympic goat who was born on Pi Day, which is also fantastic, in addition to her many medals and other things. Anyway, that is Simone Biles. Simone Biles, whose birthday is on Pi Day. All right, moving on to question number 4. The one with all the rings that also's got a lot of moons, that would be Saturn. Saturn, not the one we normally think of when we think of probes, but it's the 6th one, and it's got rings. Moving on to question number 5. Question number 5. The only ever live performance of Candle in the Wind 1997 was, of course, at Princess Di's funeral. Princess Diana for question number 5. Question number 6. I was looking for the, I've never thought of it as rhyming, but I guess it does rhyme. Anyway, that city is, of course, Hong Kong, that later got Hong Kong Disneyland. Now, question number 7. I was looking for the team that won the World Series in 1997 after only been around for 5 years. I didn't realize they were this young when they won. That was, of course, the Florida Marlins. Now, I do want to tell a quick story here about the Marlins. I mentioned earlier I was part of a class project. We painted a marlin that we ended up giving to the Florida Marlins. But there was a reason that we painted a marlin, and that was because our teacher had just read us Old Man and the Sea. And I am going to go ahead and tell you my age here because I need to tell you that they read Old Man and the Sea to a class of 5th graders. And then we painted a marlin. So, fun story for you all. Hope you enjoyed. Moving on to your last question of this round. The Love Boat and That Sinking Feeling were excellent headlines about the movie Titanic, which not everyone liked as much as the Oscars. That show that was recently renewed for a 40th season, yes, it's still airing new episodes, and so it's now longer than The Flintstones. That was, of course, The Simpsons. The Simpsons. Round number 3 tonight is Sing It Out. This is going to be a multiple choice round about LGBTQIA plus singers. That's right, Alphabet Army singers is your theme for round number 3. Here we go. Question number 1. What film is the parenthetical title of Lil Nas X's Montero? Is it Call Me By Your Name or Moonlight? Again, this is question number 1. Which film is also the parenthetical title of Lil Nas X's Montero? Is it Call Me By Your Name or Moonlight? All right, moving on to your question number 2. Here's your question 2. Lipstick Lover is a lesbian anthem by which pansexual artist? Is it Miley Cyrus or Janelle Monáe? Again, this is question number 2. Lipstick Lover is a lesbian anthem by which pansexual artist? Is it Miley Cyrus or Janelle Monáe? All right, question number 3 for your round 3. Here's your question 3. A drag queen designs the titular footwear in which Broadway musical? Is it Kinky Boots or The Red Shoes? Again, this is question number 3. A drag queen designs the titular footwear in which Broadway musical? Is it Kinky Boots or The Red Shoes? All right, question number 4. Here's your question 4. Which Bond film used Sam Smith's writing on the wall for its intro? Is it No Time to Die or Spectre? Again, this is question number 4. Which Bond film used Sam Smith's writing on the wall for its intro? Is it No Time to Die or Spectre?
Between a rock and someplace pretty hot. You think you wanna leave town, but no, you choose to stay. Get away.
All right, friends, you're halfway through this round on LGBTQIA plus singers. Here's your question number 5. Singers Santana Lopez and Britney Pierce got married in season 6 of what TV series? Is it Crazy Ex-Girlfriend or Glee? Again, this is question number 5. Singers Santana Lopez and Britney Pierce got married in season 6 of what TV series? Is it Crazy Ex-Girlfriend or Glee? All right, question number 6 coming at you. Here's your question 6. Conchita Wurst was the first drag artist to win Eurovision, representing which country? Is it Austria or Norway? Again, for question number 6, Conchita Wurst was the first drag artist to win Eurovision, representing which country? Austria or Norway? All right, question number 7. Here's your question 7. Which one named South American singer came out as bi in a 2018 Netflix docuseries? Is it Anita or Shakira? Again, this is question number 7. Which one named South American singer came out as bi in a 2018 Netflix docuseries? Is it Anita or Shakira? All right, and it's time for the last question of this round. Before that bonus question, here's your question number 8. Adam Lambert and Orville Peck have played a character known only as the MC in a revival of what Broadway show? Is it Cabaret or Moulin Rouge? Again, this is question number 8. Adam Lambert and Orville Peck have played a character known only as the MC in a revival of what Broadway show? Is it Cabaret or Moulin Rouge? Here is your bonus question. Coached by Reba McEntire, last year Asher Havan became the first openly queer winner of what NBC reality show? Again, this is your bonus question for round number 3. Coached by Reba McEntire, last year Asher Havan became the first openly queer winner of what NBC reality show? Let's see how y'all did on this LGBTQIA plus singers multiple choice round. Going back to that question number one, the film that's also the parenthetical title of Lil Nas X's Montero is, of course, Call Me By Your Name. The one with the peach, not the one that won Best Picture. Moving on to question number two. Lipstick Lover is Dram, and it is by Janelle Monáe. Both Janelle and Miley identify as pan, but Janelle is the one who sings Lipstick Lover. Moving on to question number three for your round three. The drag queen designs the footwear, and obviously it's kinky boots. What kind of shoes would a drag queen design that weren't kinky? The red shoes is decidedly less kinky of a show than Kinky Boots. Very different show. Moving on to question number four. The Bond film that used writings on the wall from Sam Smith for its intro, that was Spectre. Spectre for question four. Question number five. I don't remember how many singers there are in Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. It might just be the Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. Maybe it's more. But anyway, the ones who got married in season 6, that was, of course, Glee. Glee for question five. Question number six. That drag artist that won Eurovision was representing the country of Austria. Question number seven. I feel like we would all know if Shakira had come out as bi. That's not the answer. It is Anita, which I think means we all need to watch that because I think very few of us know who Anita is. I may have heard of her because I think she's been mentioning on a podcast I listen to. I listen to a lot of podcasts. Anyway, that is the answer there for question number seven is Anita. And finally, for round number three, question number eight, the MC is, of course, a character from Cabaret. Cabaret. All right, it's time to give away your bonus prize for. I don't know. Several people, we don't know who Anita is. I believe she's a South American singer with one name who is bi and was in a 2018 docuseries on Netflix. That's the information I have about Anita. Feel free to do a Google search or watch the series, and we'll come back and share information later. All right, so let me tell you your bonus question answer. That first openly queer winner was of the show, of course, The Voice on NBC. The Voice is your answer to the bonus question. Round number four is an 8-point round. It is called That's Mr. Sandwich to You. Happy 196th birthday to Geronimo. In his honor, this is a round on other people whose names have become common words. I feel like we do this every year on Geronimo's birthday, but they're all new questions because there's a lot of people whose names have become common words. So let's see if you all know the 8+ bonus that come up in this version of this round. Question number one for round four. Here's your question one. After he couldn't find the chef, in 1943, Mater D. Ignacio Garcia hastily invented what Tex-Mex staple that would go on to bear his nickname. Again, this is question number one for your round four. After he couldn't find the chef, in 1943, Mater D. Ignacio Garcia hastily invented what Tex-Mex staple that would go on to bear his nickname. All right, moving on to your question number two. Here's your question two. A cheaper alternative to getting a portrait painted, what outline images are named for a French finance minister who raised taxes on the wealthy? Because of course he did. Again, this is question number two. A cheaper alternative to getting a full portrait painted, what outline images are named for a French finance minister who raised taxes on the wealthy? Actually, that's good. Let's raise taxes on the wealthy. We should do that. Let's do that. All right, moving on to question number 3. Here is your question 3. French ambassador Jean Nicot inadvertently earned an infamous place in history when he sent the seeds of what plant from Lisbon to France in 1561? Oh, more French words to say. Again, for question number 3, French ambassador Jean Nicot inadvertently earned an infamous place in history when he sent the seeds of what plant from Lisbon to France in 1561? All right, question number 4 for your round 4. Here's your question 4. In the 1800s, the Irish National Land League encouraged people to refuse to do business with hated English land agent Charles who? Again, this is question number 4. In the 1800s, the Irish National Land League encouraged people to refuse to do business with hated English land agent Charles who? All right, y'all, you're halfway through this round about people whose names have become common words. If you're stumped on any of these questions, maybe review them to see if the person's name would give you a hint. All right, moving on to your question number 5. Question 5, designed as a comfy alternative to stiff, heavy dresses, these hammer pants-looking garments were famously championed by feminist Amelia who? Again, for question number 5, designed as a comfy alternative to stiff, heavy dresses, these hammer pants looking garments were famously championed by feminist Amelia who? Moving on to question number 6. Here's your question 6. A Mexican term used to diss people who simp for other cultures. Malinchism is named after a 16th century advisor to what Aztec empire toppler? Again, this is question number 6. A Mexican term used to diss people who simp for other cultures. Malinchism is named after a 16th century advisor to what Aztec empire toppler? All right, question number 7. Here's your question 7. Creating an explosive burst of metal with just one shot, in the late 1700s, a new form of artillery shell was developed by British Lieutenant General Henry who? Again, this is question number 7. Creating an explosive burst of metal with just one shot. In the late 1700s, a new form of artillery shell was developed by British Lieutenant General Henry who? All right, time for the last question of this round. Other than that bonus, here's your question number 8. Google once ran this doodle to honor the birthday of what famed French educator and inventor? Again, this is your question number 8. Google once ran this doodle to honor the birthday of what famed French educator and inventor? For your bonus for round number 4, here is your question. A Nintendo Switch ad and Amanda Siegfried's character in Mean Girls are possible origins of what name used for someone who has big speak to the manager energy? Again, this is your bonus question for round number 4. A Nintendo Switch ad and Amanda Siegfried's character in Mean Girls are possible origins of what name used for someone who has big speak to the manager energy? All right, friends, feel free to keep those bonus answers. Keep on coming while we go back and do your answers for this round. Number 4, let's see how y'all did on these people whose names have become common names for things. First off, question number 1, because he couldn't find the chef that Mater D in 1943 created nachos. And yes, I want nachos now. Thanks, Geeks Who Drink Writers. Thanks so much. All right, moving on to question number 2. Question number 2. The cheaper alternative to getting a portrait painted was to get your silhouette. Silhouette, actually a dude's name. Silhouette for question number 2. Moving on to question number 3. That French ambassador, his last name was Nicote like nicotine. It was tobacco seeds that we be finding. Tobacco seeds he sent to France. Moving on to question number 4. That Irish National Land League encouraged people to boycott Charles Boycott. It was boycott for question number 4. Moving on to question number 5. I did enjoy all of the wrong answers that were coming in here for your question number 5, such as Amelia MC Hammerpants, Amelia Parachute. All fantastic answers, but unfortunately wrong. It is Bloomer. Bloomer is what I was looking for. Bloomer for question number 5. Moving on to question number 6. Question 6. That Mexican term comes from the advisor to Cortez. Cortez, who overthrew the Aztec Empire. All right, moving on to question number 7. Question 7. I did enjoy Henry Nuke and also Henry Crumpets, but the correct answer here was in fact Henry Shrapnel. Henry Shrapnel for question number 7. And finally, your question number 8. It wasn't Joe Dots. No, of course, it was Louis Braille. Braille for question number 8. All right, it is time to give away your bonus. That big speak to the manager energy is, of course, a Karen. That would be a Karen. As always, round number 5 is a visual round. What that means is I'm going to be playing some clips for you. You are going to be naming me some movies. You're going to be naming me some movies in this round number 5. These are going to be, the round is called I Can Go Anywhere. I don't know if trigger warning is the appropriate thing here, but there's going to be a very sexy picture of LeVar Burton when we start this round. These are going to be movies where someone was able to transport themselves to another room thanks to the power of books. Yes, it's a book themed movie round. I like it. It's meta. All right. I'm going to start the video here. You all are going to see all these clips through once. And then, of course, you will see them a second time. 8 points on the line for this round number 5. Name them movies. And, you know, if it's part of a franchise, be specific. Be specific for the franchises. All right. Here are your questions for your round number 5, y'all.
No, sorry, old man. No wondering today. Today we're going straight to the vault.
Greed.
I feel like we're children again.
The master waiting, the guests will be arriving.
Keep them happy until I arrive. Tell them that joke, you know.
It seems louder over here. Hand me that candle, will you? Put.
Let me out of here! Let me out of here! You have no right to shut me in! I'll book you for false arrest and wrongful imprisonment and obstructing an officer in the course of his duty and murder! What do you mean? Murder? I just said it so you would open the door.
Just do what I tell you.
Native son, native son.
Pull it out.
Don't you want me to read it?
Pull the book out. You'll see a button behind it. Push the button. It'll open up. You go inside. You close the door behind you.
All right. Oh, man, oh, man.
There's a secret door in the library, the bookshelf on the right wall, and then there were none.
Well, that's,
Trap. Huh?
Hey, this way! Through here!
Nice doggy. Good doggy.
Hurry!
Greed.
till I arrive. Tell them that joke, you know.
It seems louder over here. Hand me that candle, will you?
I'll book you for false arrest and wrongful imprisonment and obstructing an officer in the course of his duty and murder. What do you mean, murder? I just...
Open up, you go inside, you close the door behind you.
All right. Oh, man, oh, man.
The bookshelf on the right wall, and then there were none.
This way! Through here!
Nice doggy. Good doggy.
Hurry!
Let's do your answers for your round number 5. Let's see how y'all did on, honestly, this A+ round. From the sexy LeVar Burton at the beginning to all of the movies in this round. I hope you enjoyed it. Also, quick update. I did tell you to be specific if it was part of a franchise, but apparently we accepted the franchise on the questions that had a franchise, so you could just name the franchise. Let's do your answers for your round number 5. Let's see how y'all did. So first off, of course, that question number 1, one of my favorites, it is the Addams Family. That was the first one. But again, franchise is fine. The Addams Family for question number 1. Moving on to question number 2. That was the Dark Knight trilogy. I believe it's Batman Begins, the first one, but again, it's naming the franchise, so the Dark Knight franchise. I guess that's what we're calling it? Anyway, question number 3 is one of my favorites, Young Frankenstein. Oh, I need to see that again. Maybe I'll watch it this month. Young Frankenstein for question 3. Question number 4 is the Men in Black franchise. It's not the first one. Don't remember which one it is. Might be the inferior 2. Anyway, Men in Black for question number 4. Question number 5, another classic. It is Clue. I'm going to go see the Broadway show this year. I'm really excited about that. Clue for question 5. Question number 6, this was the Equalizer franchise. The Equalizer for question number 6. Apparently there's more than one of those films. Question number 7 was that horror film Abigail. Abigail for question 7. And last but not least, one that all of you were waiting for, it was the Pagemaster. The Pagemaster for question number 8. So hopefully y'all did a great job on that round number 5. All right. It was Men in Black 3? Okay. Based on the year. Good thought. All right. Well, thank you all for helping me with all of those specific ones. Again, you just needed to name the franchise for that round. All right, y'all, it is time now for those of you who have not used your jokers. Round number 6 is going to be a 16-point round, and so is your final round number 7. So it's up to you. If you haven't jokered, you can use it on round 6, or you can save it on round number 7. It's totally up to you. Let me tell you about your round number 6, 16-point round. It's called Hit Me, Oi Story. For this round, you will get 2 questions whose answers end in OY. You can either answer the first one for 1 point or the second one for 2 points, but don't answer both of them. If you put down more than one answer, you'll get 0. Moving my face so you can see that part there. Once again, this is a 16-point round where you have to decide if you're going for the 1-point option or the 2-point option. All answers, whether for 1 or 2 points, will end in the letters OY. So that should be helpful on some of these questions. 2 possible answers you can give me for each question, but you only can give me 1. You got to go for the 1-pointer or the 2-pointer. Here we go. Question number 1 for round number 6. Question number 1, your 1-point option, an edamame pod is just an immature version of the what bean? Or for 2 points, part of the mustard family, what green's name is Chinese for white vegetable? Somewhat ironically, since it's a green. Anyway, for question number 1, you have to decide if you're answering part 1 for 1 point or part 2 for 2 points. Your 1 point option, an edamame pod, is just an immature version of the what bean. Or your 2 point option, part of the mustard family, what green's name is Chinese for white vegetable. Laughing at the chats that said no one ever waited for the Pagemaster. I honestly never saw that movie. I don't know if it's worth it or not. Wouldn't know. You'd have to tell me. Anyway, moving on to question number 2. Question number 2, your 1 point option first. Amy Poehler voices what upbeat emotion in the Inside Out films? Or for 2 points, 2021's Hard Seltzer was the first SNL digital short by what trio? Again, this is question at number 2. Your 1 point option, Amy Poehler voices what upbeat emotion in the Inside Out films? Or for 2 points, 2021's Hard Seltzer was the first SNL digital short by what trio? Feel like maybe this is an appropriate time to remind you all of the answers in this round, whether they're for 1 or 2 points, will end in the letters OY. All right, moving on to your question number 3. Question number 3, your 1 point option, original comes in blue, chewy, and red. So goes the packaging for what Nabisco cookie brand? Or your 2 point option for this question, what chubby sounding treat calls itself America's #1 ice cream sandwich? Again, this is question number 3. Your 1 point option, original comes in blue, chewy in red. So goes the packaging for what Nabisco cookie brand? Or your 2 point option, what chubby sounding treat calls itself America's #1 ice cream sandwich? Now I am hungry again. Thanks, geeks. Thanks. All right, moving on to your question number 4. Question number 4, your 1 point option first. Waterfowl hunters try to attract their prey with what bird-shaped object carved from wood or cork? Or your 2 point option, what golfer birdied on a playoff hole at Augusta this year to win his first career Grand Slam? Name a golfer whose name ends in OY, and that's probably your answer for part 2, or the 2 point option, I should say. Question number 4, once again, your 1 point option. Waterfowl hunters try to attract their prey with what bird-shaped object carved from wood or cork? Or for 2 points, what golfer birdied on a playoff hole at Augusta this year to win his first career Grand Slam? All right, y'all, you're halfway through this round number 6. Remember, you are deciding whether you want to answer the 1 point option or the 2 point option. Regardless of which one you answer, all of the answers in this round end with the letters OY. And sadly, no, I don't think there's any OY royalty-free music. Moving on to question number 5, your 1-point option. Bronze, brass, and electrum are each what sort of metallic mixture? Or your 2-point option, named for a town in France, the standard unit for weighing precious metals is a what ounce? Again, this is question number 5. Your 1-point option, bronze, brass, and electrum are each what sort of metallic mixture? Or your 2-point option, named for a town in France, the standard unit for weighing precious metals is a what ounce?
Say that you're the one. You don't stand for nothing. You only help yourself. Listening to the preacher, watching from afar. He's always got his hand out. Salvation got a car.
All right, question number 6 for your round 6. Here's your question 6, your 1-point option. C.W. McCall is best known for what 70s novelty song about a trucker rebellion? Or your 2-point option, what former gym class heroes frontman had a 2010 hit with Billionaire featuring Bruno Mars? Yes, it's the question that will haunt you if you're like me and bad at the music round. For question 6, your 1-point option, C.W. McCall is best known for what 70s novelty song about a trucker rebellion? Or for 2 points, what former gym class heroes frontman had a 2010 hit with Billionaire featuring Bruno Mars? Moving on to your question number 7. Here is your question 7. 1-point option. In 2018, Viola Davis wrote a sequel to what book about a teddy bear with bumpy clothes? Or for 2 points, this goofy looking style of kids wear is named for the novel Little Lord Who? I enjoy this question very much. Again, this is question number 7. Your 1-point option. In 2018, Viola Davis wrote a sequel to what book about a teddy bear with bumpy clothes? Or your 2-point option. This goofy looking style of kids wear shown here is named for the novel Little Lord Who?
Everything you say just brings me down.
All right, it's time for your last question of the round. Before that bonus, here's question number 8. Your 1-point option. What 1998 movie starred Adam Sandler as the title football player? Or for 2 points, what 1989 Gus Van Sant film starred Matt Dillon as the title stick-up man? Again, this is question number 8. Your 1-point option. What 1998 movie starred Adam Sandler as the title football player? Or for 2 points, what 1989 Gus Van Sant film starred Matt Dillon as the title stick-up man?
What is it anyway? You never get a choice about where you're born.
All right, y'all, it is now that time for your bonus question. He played Thomas Lefroy in Becoming Jane, Leo Tolstoy's private secretary in The Last Station, and oh yeah, Professor X. Name that on-theme Scottish actor. Again, this is your bonus question for round number 6. He played Thomas Lefroy in Becoming Jane, Leo Tolstoy's private secretary in The Last Station, and also Professor X. Name that on-theme Scottish actor. All right, y'all. Keep those bonus answers coming on in as we move over to your answers for your round number 6. Let's see how y'all did on this round. Hopefully you made the decision whether or not you wanted to joker your score here before I do the answers, or you can save your joker for the final round if you haven't used it already. Let's see how y'all did on this 16-point round. First off, question number 1, your 1-point option, an edamame pod is an immature soybean, and the green that's name means white vegetable in Chinese. It's part of the mustard family. It's bok choy. Soy and bok choy for question 1. Oh, all of the answers are going to rhyme in this round. Isn't it fun? Moving on to question number 2. Question number 2. Amy Poehler voices Joy in the Inside Out films. And Hard Seltzer was the first digital short by Please Don't Destroy. It's not The Lonely Island. That's an earlier trio. Please Don't Destroy. Some of my favorites on SNL did that 2021 Hard Seltzer. Moving on to question number 3. Part 1, I honestly forgot there was a Chewy option. That would be Chips Ahoy as that cookie brand for question part 1 of question 3. And part 2, America's #1 ice cream sandwich is called Fat Boy. Fat Boy. Chips Ahoy, Fat Boy for question number 3. Moving on to question number 4, the bird-shaped objects that waterfowl hunters use to try to attract prey, that would be a decoy. A decoy for your 1-point option. And for your 2-point options, I did enjoy all of the golfers y'all named and turned their names into answers that fit this round. But the one that actually fits this round is Rory McIlroy. Rory McIlroy was the one who finished his first career Grand Slam. Moving on to question number 5. Bronze, brass, and electrum are all alloys. And that town in France, also another place you've probably heard of, that would be a troy ounce. A troy ounce is what they use to measure precious metals. Yeah, I mean, I don't eat a lot of cookies. I'm gonna say that. All right, moving on to your question number 6. Question 6. C.W. McCall is best known for that 70s song Convoy. Never heard of it. Or for 2 points, former Gym Class Heroes frontman had that hit Billionaire. That was Travie McCoy. I do remember that song and that name. Did not know he was from Gym Class Heroes. I learned something today. Moving on to question number 7. Viola Davis recently wrote a sequel to a beloved children's book. A lot of people don't know the book, don't get this question right, but hopefully you all did if you went with the 1-point option. It was Corduroy, the Corduroy books. Viola Davis wrote a book in that series. And also, probably my favorite answer of this round, that style of kids wear is named after Little Lord Fauntleroy. Little Lord Fauntleroy for question number 7. Moving on to question number 8. It's funny, we were joking about the Happy Gilmore as a possible golfing answer, but the Adam Sandler movie that would get you 1 point here on your round at number 6, that would be The Waterboy. The Waterboy for question 8. Your 1-point answer. And for your 2-point answer, that was a lot of words about a movie I am not familiar with. It is Drugstore Cowboy. Drugstore Cowboy is your option there. The actor who played all of those things is, of course, James McAvoy. It is James McAvoy for your bonus question. That's right. It's time for your final round. Round number 7, as always, is your random knowledge round. It is 8 questions worth 16 points. Some of the questions are going to have multiple points, multiple answers required for those questions. The order matters, which you're scoring yourself, so you can keep track of what order your answers are in. But for those multiple questions, sometimes the order matters, so just pay attention. If you haven't used your joker yet, you should use it here on the final round because it's worth 16 points. All right, here we go. Let's do this. There we go. 16 points, some questions, multiple parts, multiple points. Pay attention. Here we go. Question number 1 for 1 point. One answer for your question number 1. First sold over 100 years ago in Ohio, what brand of lollipops got its name because they wanted something simple enough for a child to say? Again, this is question number 1 in your final round. First sold over 100 years ago in Ohio, what brand of lollipops got its name because they wanted something simple enough for a child to say? All right, moving on to your question number 2. Question number 2 is worth 2 points. 2 answers for question number 2. These are 2 visual points. Seen here, Keith Roy Yearwood and Spencer Eldon were each paid a couple of $100 to appear on 90s albums by what 2 artists? Name the 2 artists that produced these albums here. No order. The order doesn't matter. Again, for question number 2, seen here, Keith Roy Yearwood and Spencer Eldon were each paid a couple $100 to appear on 90s albums by what 2 artists?
Can we fix it? Or do we care? Token gesture. What's the future? Do we care? Do think it over. Don't take too long.
All right, moving on to question number 3. Question 3. Nearly impossible to stay conscious for what 7-time Golden Raspberry Award-winning movie anagrams to want coma? Appropriately, apparently. Again, this is question number 3. Nearly impossible to stay conscious for what 7-time Golden Raspberry Award-winning movie anagrams to want coma? Award-winning feels like the wrong thing to say there, but I guess it won the award for bad.
I don't wanna be around when the sun goes down. Yeah, I don't wanna be around. I don't wanna be around for the last sundown.
All right, question number 4 is worth 3 points. 3 answers for question number 4. Fairly straightforward. Question 4, name any 3 of the 5 U.S. national parks with canyon in their names. 1 is easy. Maybe you can get the other 2 out of 5. We'll see. Again, for question number 4, there are 5 possible answers here. You only have to give me 3 of them. Give me 3 of the 5 U.S. national parks with canyon in their names.
Station, but the last train is long gone.
Yeah, I don't wanna be around. I don't wanna be around when the sun goes down.
All right, question number 5 is another 1-point question. Just one answer for your question 5. The only active MLB team to have never made it to the World Series. What franchise's fans are known for singing the nautical song Louie Louie in the 7th inning stretch? What a thing to be known for. Again, this is question number 5. The only active MLB team to have never made it to a World Series. What franchise's fans are known for singing the nautical song Louie Louie in the 7th inning stretch? All right, question number 6 is another 3-point question. 3 answers for question number 6. And for this one, the order does matter. First, named for America's most Mexican city, what salsa brand long used the slogan, ¿Por qué no los dos? Part 2, founded in Newton in 1985, what troubled eatery has only 7 restaurants left in all of Massachusetts? And part 3, founded in Columbus, what spicy chain is named for a city over 300 miles away? Again, this is question number 6 for 3 points. The order does matter here. First, named for America's most Mexican city, what salsa brand long used the slogan, ¿Por qué no los dos? Part 2, founded in Newton in 1985, what troubled eatery has only 7 restaurants left in all of Massachusetts? And part 3, founded in Columbus, what spicy chain is named for a city over 300 miles away? All right, question number 7. Here is your question 7. 1 point, 1 answer here for question 7. Based on the terrible movie Give My Regards to Broad Street, this video game let you play as what knighted rocker driving around London looking for an album's missing tapes? Again, this is question number 7. Based on the terrible movie Give My Regards to Broad Street, this video game let you play as what knighted rocker driving around London looking for an album's missing tape. So name that knighted rocker that was in that movie and video game. All right, question number 8, your last question of the round and of the night, other than your final bonus question. Question number 8 is worth 4 points. I need 4 answers for question 8. This is 4 points where the order matters. For each pair of synopses, name the shared movie title. So there'll be 4 pairs of synopses with shared movie titles. First is 1983, Sean Penn gets sent to juvie, and the 1995 film Smith and Lawrence Fight Crime. Both of those movies have the same name. Tell me what it is. Part 2, 2010, skiers are stranded on a chairlift, and 2013, the Arendelle sisters reconcile. Part 3, 2019, McConaughey and Hathaway live in a simulation, and 2005, Firefly finally gets some closure. And Part 4, 04, Haggis's crappy Best Picture winner, and in 1996, Cronenberg's NC-17 masterpiece. So again, for question number 8, the order does matter. I'm giving you pairs of movie synopses for movies that have the same name. You're giving me the shared movie title for each of those pairs. First is 1983, Sean Penn gets sent to juvie, and 1995, Smith and Lawrence fight crime. Second is 2010, skiers are stranded on a chairlift, and 2013, the Arundel sisters reconcile. Third is 2019, McConaughey and Hathaway live in a simulation, and 2005, Firefly finally gets some closure. And part 4, 2004, Haggis's crappy Best Picture winner, and 1996, Cronenberg's NC-17 masterpiece. Name those 4 movie titles. And here's your bonus question. Nearly 4 years after hitting the same milestone on YouTube, this month marked 1 billion Spotify streams for Rick Astley's song That Won't Ever Tell a Lie and Hurt You. Here are your final round answers. Starting off with question number 1, those lollipops that were first sold in Ohio over 100 years ago are Dum Dums. Dum Dums for question number 1. Moving on to question number 2. Those 2 albums seen there featuring those gentlemen were the artists. First was the Notorious B.I.G. The second one was for Nirvana. So Notorious B.I.G. and Nirvana for question number 2. Moving on to question number 3. That very not great movie that won a lot of prizes for being really bad was Catwoman. Anagramming to want coma. Catwoman for question 3. Moving on to question number 4. You had 5 possible answers here for question number 4 that are national parks with the word canyon in it. You only had to give me 3 of them to get the full points on this question. Your possible answers were Black Canyon, Bryce Canyon, Canyonlands, the one I hope all of you got, Grand Canyon, and Kings Canyon. So Black Canyon, Bryce Canyon, Canyonlands, Grand Canyon, Kings Canyon. You just had to name 3 of those, just 3 points total on this round. No bonus points if you named all 5. But feel free to let us know if you did so in the chat. Moving on to question number 5, worth 1 point. The only active MLB team to have never made it to a World Series. Yes, someone page Brandon, because it is the Seattle Mariners who sing Louie Louie during the 7th inning stretch. Seattle Mariners for question number 5. Moving on to question number 6. This was your 3 city/food themed questions. First, the name for America's most Mexican city, the salsa brand that uses Por qué no los dos, is Old El Paso. The one founded in Massachusetts, there's not a whole lot of them left. I honestly haven't thought about them in a long time, but they were good. They were good. That was Boston Market for part 2 of question 6. And finally, part 3. The spicy chain founded in Columbus, named for another city that would be Buffalo Wild Wings. Buffalo Wild Wings for your 3rd point there for question number 6. Moving on to question number 7. Question 7. I've not heard of this movie. It's probably a good thing because it doesn't sound all that great. That movie is Give My Regards to Broadway, and it featured Paul McCartney. Paul McCartney. as who we were looking for question number 7. Moving on to your question number 8. Question 8 was your 4-part paired movie synopsis question, which I quite enjoyed this question. Hopefully you all enjoyed it as well. Your answers first, the Sean Penn and then also Smith and Lawrence. And no, it's not Will Smith and Jennifer Lawrence. That it is Bad Boys. It's the other Lawrence, Martin Lawrence. Bad Boys was those shared movies for part 1. For part 2, the Arundel sisters are the one that got me for this one. It is Frozen for part 2, Frozen. Moving on to part 3. Part 3, there was your McConaughey, Hathaway, and then the Firefly getting closure, too much closure, if you ask many fans, too much closure in Serenity was that film. And finally, for your last one, the Best Picture winner from 2004, it's a crappy film, no one likes it, and also Cronenberg's NC-17 masterpiece, which I'm less familiar with, but those movies are both called Crash. So Bad Boys, Frozen, Serenity, and Crash for your final bonus. And yes, I'm very grateful to the Geeks Who Drink writers for allowing me the opportunity to rickroll all of you this evening. The answer here was, of course, the Rick Astley song, Never Gonna Give You Up. Never Gonna Give You Up. Thank you to all of you for playing with us tonight here with Geeks Who Drink on Twitch. We will be back with you next Monday, same time as always.